All right, welcome to the second episode of the Let Dots podcast. I'm here today with Clay, Sogo, Musa, Emil, and Taylor. Welcome back. You guys are second time listeners. We're going to get to our topic for this today. It is life after college. So we're going to talk about expectations before and after, relationships, jobs, all that. First off, we're going to get into expectations before college. So was everybody's game plan before, and then how did that work out? How did that work out for you? So let's go with TK. Let's go with you first.
Man, all right. So I don't know that I had actually. Well, I had some expectations. I might have had expectations that were too high. I might have set my expectations too high for, in general, just life after college, because being young, not thinking about it, I was thinking like, all right, I'm graduating, I got a degree, getting jobs should be easy, but mainly, especially with my degree, it's kind of, I don't want to call it a stepping stone, but like you kind of got to build off it and get like more skills or more technical things for your diploma, add to your assets, because it's mainly built on, because a lot of people go off my degree, go to like extra like master's programs or doctorate or different deals like that. So I didn't do that. I kind of wanted different things to go into the workforce to get build experience, and then I'm back in school now, so I kind of took a different route. So when I went out, it was kind of hard to find jobs at first, and that's kind of why I went into like the coaching route, so I can hold something down, and then while I also apply for a different amount of jobs. And to be honest, I was putting in for everything, anything that I could find that was within the skills that I knew I had, or that could fill in with my degree or anything like that. So when I basically going in, I think, I don't want to say you don't set your expectations too high, because it's certain things of what you're doing, like depends on what you're going into, what type of field or what type of things you're looking for. So if you might be having a degree off the top, or you might be having offers off top, but mine was just a little bit different, because I feel like I struggled a little bit, and then a lot of stress set in with that part, because I'm thinking, oh man, I need to find a job real quick because I had a baby on the way. My son was born 3 months after I graduated, so I'm stressing, trying to find out how I'm going to provide. And then since she had the baby, she stayed off for a while. So I was taking anything and everything. I'm searching. Like I said, if I had anything else out there, I applied to it. I said, I probably got applications out there still waiting, to be honest. And that's years ago. But
I feel that.
Yeah, on Indeed, applications on Indeed.
I feel that one.
Oh, I got an Indeed account for sure. Indeed, it didn't matter. Indeed, I was grabbing stuff, but I was talking to people. I was putting on social media, like anything anybody know of anything. I was just trying to reach out and build my network so I could add multiple options. But
what was what was your degree in? For those who don't know,
exercise science. So like that, like. And then like my main deal was I wanted to be in the medical field. I wanted to be a coach, like stay with athletics. But like I wanted to be in the medical field. Like that was my main focus. Like I said in the last podcast, like my journey to marry, my initial degree or my initial interest was, I was headed the med school route. So I always wanted to be in the medical field, and that was my main focus. But that was kind of tight with my degree, since I put off like school instead of going straight in there and working. So after, I would say, after my expectations kind of went down a little bit, I'd say just kind of try to stay level-headed and take what I can get and build off that. And that's kind of what I did when I got my job now. And the job I have now, I work in cardiac and pulmonary rehab, so I work with a lot of heart and lung patients. So that's just given me a lot of skills that I didn't have. I can branch off into so many different regions in the medical field. So I just kind of had to lower my expectations, not to a more realistic level and not necessarily take it to the extra level of like, oh man, I'm automatically getting this or I'm automatically getting that. But I don't know. Like I said, my story's a little different. I was on crunch time, I feel like, since I had a baby on the way. So I don't know. How y'all feel about it?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel the same way as you. As to, and I went to college for like, okay, I thought this was gonna happen, that was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like basic expectations. Oh, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna get me a girlfriend, right? It's gonna be 4-year relationship, like straight through college. Then I'm gonna graduate. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I want, type shit. Like freshman year, I expected to already know what I was gonna go. Like I don't know why, bro. I literally did not do any thinking about my degree in high school and stuff like that. And I expected myself to like go to college and just automatically like, oh, know what I wanted to do. Like, no, like y'all got to start now. So especially if you're going to college, like you need to start towards like junior year of high school, thinking about that. And then for me, I was thinking like, okay, I'm going there. I'm gonna figure out what I want to do. I'm gonna go out there and do my best. You know what I mean? Obviously, we all ran track. I went in there thinking, all right, I'm gonna do my thing on the track too, and it's gonna be easy to juggle. Not easy to juggle, obviously, bro. But I'm thinking, you know what I mean? It's gonna be very easy. Like track, I've been doing track in school. It's different when you're taking college classes, stuff like that. It's a lot of things that I didn't really expect. And then honestly, it bit me in the ass, you know what I mean? Because like you thinking all these stuff is about to happen, and like you thinking, oh, you about to set yourself up for greatness, but you don't expect like you setting yourself up for greatness comes at a price, and it, you know what I mean. You need sacrifices to be able to do all these things. For example, like I said this on the last episode about when we talked, but I commend TK a lot because of his discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to be in college, especially if you're like a student athlete. It's very different in the sense of you think you're about to come in, do this, and it's going to be just as easy as high school, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that and it's an investment too. Like you, if you don't have like a full ride, you're investing money, time into college, and you want a return on your investment. So like, I feel like for me, if I go to college, put the time in, get a decent grade point average or whatever, I'm expecting a job out at the end, and that was my expectations. Like, if I got a degree, where's my job at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but like in reality, in real life, you just gotta really like fight for that shit. It's a dog eat dog world. So I mean, like I hear y'all and I feel y'all about putting like a bunch of applications in on Indeed because like I'm sure we all been through that.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same situation. I think for me, I should have took. Well, Musa said a little bit. I should have took picking my major more serious. Cause I was marketing. Let's get this business. Let's get money. If you get in business, you're gonna get money and stuff. So that's why. That's very why I picked it. But I wasn't really into it. I didn't really like it. So going back, because what I do now is not that has nothing to do with my major. So a lot of people get in that situation as well because they feel like they have to do something and stick with it just because they chose it from the beginning. That's how it was. So I was behind the 8 ball in the beginning on that because I was trying to figure out. I went through 4 years of college and then had to start from zero pretty much. So that was scary at first. So you got to figure it out when you can. So
yeah, I think when you get recruited, they kind of sell you a dream.
Yeah,
it's like when you're trying to, when you're trying to hook up with a girl, sometimes you're not fully honest. You're trying to get the action man in the night. So I feel like that's
good.
I feel like that's how it is when they recruit you. So like, oh yeah, come to our school. It's a great place. Great academics, and then when you graduate, it's like 80% placement. So you definitely have a job. You have resources. Blah blah blah. And it's like when you get in there, then it's like, oh, we don't really care about you. Sometimes that's the way it feels because I don't know anybody at Marion who's ever helped me do anything. Like the moment I graduate, like no one gives a crap.
Right. Exactly. Man, I think like another big part was, I don't want to say they set me up for failure, but I feel like they didn't give me the realistic advisement. Like my advisors, they tell you, all right, when you get this degree, these are possible things you can do or possible things you can get with this degree. I think like I didn't realize things like they could say like, all right, since you graduated with this, you're going to have to do furthermore. You're going to have to like pick up different skills, like real world stuff. Like they're just, like you said, they're selling you a dream, but they're not being realistic about it. Everything isn't going to be automatic. Like I know I can get these certain things if I do more, but if I didn't go, what could my plan be? What could I do? And like they just kind of said like, well, gave you general details that I could probably read off a website or read off the general things of my degree, what people do. Like, so I felt like I got my degree and I felt like I did everything, but like it just wasn't like advised to the best I could be. I don't know.
Yeah, unless you're in the nursing program. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Clay.
I'm gonna let Clay go.
Yo, facts. So like, I feel like they don't necessarily set you up for the real world in college. Like your advisors, they're super nice people, but college in general, at least my experience was, it was like a bubble, like a little community that's not like the real world, and even our classes, like, well, I changed my major 4 times and I didn't really get serious about college or my future until about halfway through my sophomore summer. So like going into junior year. But yeah, I chose business, and like after being in the real world in business, it's pretty much nothing like what they said in college, like, I don't know. I have some strong opinions on.
Well, and the thing about the business program, Marion, they try to set you up, but I mean, there's a few things they do that's good, that works out, that translates, but I mean, it don't really set you up that well.
Right.
No, I mean, I'll say unless you're in the nursing program, or you're on the med school route, nothing's really guaranteed. I will say there's something good about Marion is that they force you, if you're in the business program, to take like 3 internships, and that looks really good on the resume. So yeah. So besides that, they really do crap. But
the main thing is like, sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go on.
I think the main thing is like, our professors were ballers at their time when they were in the field, but it's changed so drastically since when they were actually in business,
Yeah.
It's changed, especially with the COVID, bro. Nowadays, I'm not gonna lie, even how we knew how we was living back in the day and stuff, everything's changing now because of COVID. People have to learn to work through, like things like Zoom, work from home, stuff like that, bro. Everything's like changing. Even that makes a difference. Just think about how many years or how much of a difference like maybe 20, 30 years can make, especially when like the past 100 years when we've, we've really been like accelerating through like innovations and stuff with like computers, especially with cars, stuff like that. Like think about how much change and how much we've grown as pretty much humans, bro. And pretty much they know about like, the business and stuff back in the day, but this is something that's forever changing. Like everything that like all, like what's the word? All majors, bro. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, you go and you want to do this, but like, unless it's like such a specific job that like nothing can be changed from, everybody's looking for a way to improve. So at the end of the day now, like they have the knowledge about all this stuff back in the day, but we need you guys to like teach us something new. Like what's going on now? How can I get a job now? Like you can't teach me all this other stuff. And that's what I feel like is a big problem. Not a problem, but like it's the biggest issue, because nowadays they teach you how to, they teach you about all this stuff, they give you this information, but like half of this stuff you cannot use in the real world. Like, all these classes, I'm not gonna lie, I took, and I felt like I was a pretty decent student, paid attention in class here and there, Nobody can just go through all years like paying attention in class, but like I did my best, So I know a decent amount of at least what I was in these classes for. And none of that really helped me get a job. Like I had to figure out how to get a job and stuff like that on my own through like skills that I pretty much already had from high school. So like in a sense, I don't feel like college was a waste, but I feel like implementing everything that I learned in college to get a job is really hard, except if everybody makes it seem easy and makes it the plan A. You know what I mean?
I mean, college definitely makes you stand out though. Like if a company is looking at you, who's a college grad, versus someone who isn't, they're gonna pick you. You know.
Of course. But what I'm saying is, in a sense of, without that, right? What else do you gain? Like, you gain information, but like in a sense of, you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying by that?
Yeah,
like,
we definitely took some BS
like,
classes like humanities.
yeah,
I don't know
like,
anything about humanities.
good on paper, you know what I mean? And like them knowing you have some type of like knowledge, there's like, it doesn't do much else, you know what I mean? But that is a lot though, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll say, going back to what TK was saying, you gotta hustle, man. You gotta hustle after college. You can't be waiting for an opportunity to land its face or stay in your lap. Like, you gotta go out and hunt for it. Like, I didn't have a kid, but I was so hungry too, because I have like loans to pay. I don't want to stay in my parents' house for the rest of my life. I've got a girlfriend who's hounding me. When are you gonna get a job? Blah 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 blah. And coming out of college, you don't want to feel like you're a failure, because you spent 4 years and they've seen all these other people get jobs and do all these things, go to all these other companies. And so you have to hustle. You have to network. Like TK was saying, it's a dog eat dog world. Like Emil was saying, it's like you have to have that same. What was that?
We can hear you. You got
no, it's a dog eat dog world.
Y'all saying you gotta worry about yourself too. Make sure y'all try to look at too many other people, like people my age doing this and that, all trying to get caught up in that, because a lot of people get down on it, like you said. A lot of people get down on themselves because they look at the next person, they say they're doing well, and then I'm just at home at my parents' house still. Like, you can't. I mean, everybody got their own process. Everybody got their own journey. So you just gotta keep on doing what you're doing. Keep your head down. Can't get. I mean, that got to me here and there too. So, but you gotta learn that's not the end of the world. You don't got nothing now. We're all still young.
That's facts. It's not necessarily your speed, but your direction. Everyone kind of has their own pace that they're going through life. Some are going to be faster, some are going to be slower. But just make sure you have a plan and you're going in some sort of direction, not just wandering.
Yeah, for real. Like that, a big part is like, and I think I kind of did that myself, was never like try to base off what you've done so far off of what somebody's already established off. Like, you feel like you should be there already. Kind of like what Clay said, like, it's a journey. Like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're gonna get there somehow. If you know what you want, you know what you're gonna do. Like, you're gonna get there, but you can't really base yourself off of someone that's been in there for 2-3 years, whether you're just or more when you're just getting out of college or anything like that. Like, so I mean, like I was saying, like, it's all about hustling. It's all about different things. Like, as long as you have a vision, then somehow you'll get something. Like, it may not be what you wanted at that time, but that's a stepping stone, and that's a big part of what I had to do. Like, I'm ready to jump to the finish line right now when I haven't gone through the trials and tribulations or any of the process. Like, so the big thing was me, like, was just to try to stay focused and like go with what I did know, what I did. It's what I did go, and then, but I mean, and then the COVID thing, that kind of like, that hurt a lot of people, but like, in a sense that helped me, because my program is, I deal with a lot of people, like I said, with heart issues and lung issues, and we shut our program down at the hospital, just for being like, we thought it was being responsible with not having our patients. Because I work with a lot of the elderly, and it wasn't really responsible to keep going on with what this was breaking out. And like, besides like Indy and all that stuff, like, I worked in like the third worst county in Indiana, like, for COVID cases. Like, it's a really small county, and like, I'd say it was like not a fifth, but it was like close to like a fifth of the county. I feel like we had like a lot of cases because the Tyson factory broke out. So it kind of helped me think on my feet, and I went to work in the ER. I did a lot of stuff that I wasn't going to know about anything, and then I worked over by our cancer center. I just did simple things of just helping people around, show people out. But it helped me think on my feet and it taught me a little street smarts, if that's what you want to call it. But like, I think that's one thing that college doesn't help you do. They give you the general knowledge of like what you do when you get established, but like what happens when you're not established. Think on your feet, like what are you going to do then? But that's a big part, what I had to learn on this. And then a big expectation that I didn't know that I needed to have. But like I don't know how like all the rest of you feel about it. Like it's certain things that it's
I actually agree with you on that, because like what I took from that for real, like it's certain things that like you don't know that you have to do in college, but you actually have to do them. Because for example, like networking for me is a thing that I didn't really do in college. You know what I mean? So like personally, I feel like I had friends, and I feel like I had a lot of friends, and those are like, okay, we talking, we cool. You know what I mean? I know who you are, but you know who I am. But in a sense, it's not. It's like, for example, like Clay. You know what I mean? For example, we talk about like business and stuff sometimes. You can do that in college with friends. Like you need to be able to be about business, because at the end of the day, what they say is you are who you surround yourself with. So like if you're just surrounding yourself with friends and stuff that just like to go out and do all that, at the end of the day, yeah, that's gonna be cool. But it's gonna be great for you if you surround yourself. That's like you can do that with them friends, but at the same time, those are not the friends that are trying to do that every day. You got to be able to network with those people and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this business. Let's talk about what's growing today. You know what I mean? What's in the news today? Stuff like that. And personally, I didn't learn that. Like I went to college, and the three things I knew about college was like, okay, you get a degree, you know what I mean? At being a student athlete, like you go ahead and do your sport. And you know what I mean? Like other than that, like not really too much else. Like, you know what I mean? And then, oh, you obviously I gotta go to school, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get friends, stuff like that. But like I don't get any like you don't get any small details like, oh, make sure you know what I mean? Go network with these people. Make sure you join these clubs because it's gonna look real good in the resume. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I would say one thing that the streets, you know, has taught me is because I didn't really know how to like when I was in college, I was like, I'm gonna do me, right? And I don't care what anyone thinks, blah blah blah. And when you learn the real world, that doesn't get you very far. Like you need to know how to finesse. People always ask me, "Oh, what'd you study?" Because coming out of college, I was working as kind of like a programmer, and one of my coworkers was like, "You don't have a programming degree. How are you programming?" I was like, "Don't worry about that. don't worry about that." And that's the kind of mentality that you need to have. I'm not saying like lie in your resume, but you have to be like be willing to take risks and like do things that you didn't really learn in college, but you can pick up quickly. Like TK was saying, like pick up on your feet. So I'll go to work and I'd be looking up how do you code this, how do you do that, how do you do this, how do you do that. You know, and you had to work on that. And even just for interviewing for a position, it's not really about what you know most of the time. It's about whether or not the hiring manager likes you. Yeah. What person that you're interviewing likes you. Like, like let's say the person watches Game of Thrones. Oh, like start making up. So yeah, I watch Game of Thrones too. That's my favorite show. You start talking about all these things like just to get them to like you, because if they see you and they see someone else, and even if that person is more qualified than you, they think, oh, I'm gonna get along with this person better because we both like Game of Thrones. We both have like hobbies in common. They're gonna pick you. And again, that's something that college doesn't teach you. Is you need to learn how to really get people to like you, especially the people who are hiring you.
Hey, that's facts. That's one thing I learned too after college, man. Because I'm kind of the same thing. I was always trying to not be mean to people, but just like how can I explain this? Only stay with my friends and stuff like that. But yeah, like Soka was saying, you got to stay. You got to sometimes you got to put yourself out there. Just move up when you need to. We're gonna go ahead and transition to relationships. How's, we kind of touched on it last week, but we get more on the personal story side. How's dating in college than after? What's the differences and what's harder? I'll go after. I'll say after school is hard. It's harder because at college everybody is more accessible. So after, I mean, you can get with someone at work and stuff like that, but just with COVID, it's hard. But I say it's way harder now that people are older too, so the expectations is higher that people go for, like, for females have. So they automatically, most, not all, but most of them want you to be, expect you to be like well off in the beginning and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing I deal with. In college, everybody's having fun and stuff. That don't matter. You don't have no job or nothing like that because everybody's just in school. So there's a lot of different levels to it. Anybody else want to take it from there?
No, I was gonna make one comment. I want to go with someone from work. I'm not trying to get me too.
Yeah, that's too. But when this is,
Get what?
You said me too. You know about that?
What is Me Too? Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
You said what?
It's like you can explain it, so go ahead.
Let's say, the Me Too movement is about women coming forth and saying, "Oh, this person harassed me. This person, molested me. Whatever the case may be." Now, typically, it's someone in power, right? But now it's kind of like if you do, like, let's say you and a girl go out on a date, and let's say she has a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend, and then you guys hook up. The next day, she might say, "Oh, well, I didn't want to do it, and he made me, blah, blah, blah." And then next thing you know, you've lost your job, you're in prison or in jail, whatever the case may be. And I just don't like mixing work with pleasure. Like, for me, like, going to track on time was difficult because I was like, yo, I don't see myself running track after college. But then, like, going to work at times, like, yo, this is my bread. Like, I need to, if I don't do this, I'm not going to, how am I going to be able to save up? I'm going to be pay for my school, my loans, all that stuff. But going back to work, it's the same thing. Like, I don't want to interact with the female at work because I don't want to jeopardize my job. I don't want any situation where the girl says, he did this to me, he did that to me, and the next thing you know, I'm getting fired. So that's my take on that. I don't mess with girls from work.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, some people like to do that, like to go that route, but
I think, like, my experience with dating girls in college was more of trying everything and seeing what I liked, different qualities in girls, and also, like, I just had a major hoe phase, so but now, like, outside of this, I'm definitely more targeted in terms of, like, what qualities I'm looking for and who I even choose to hang out with, because I'm protective of the energy that I want in my life, because to I believe it was Musa's point earlier, you are the average of your 5 best friends, or, like, even the people that are in your life. So good energy only,
Yeah, I like that. Well, real quick, before someone else goes, to add what Clay was saying, yeah, it's like in college, I kind of said earlier too, like, you dating for fun, then after that, you're dating for like long term, like, relationship vows. So that's a thing that has to switch quick. You have to start thinking about it too, because when I was younger, I never thought about that. Then now it's like, well, meet someone, I gotta see any red flags beforehand, like, and stuff like that. But TK, he's gonna go next.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, you're kind of trying everything out, like, and that's, I mean, you gotta do, like you said, you gotta do that though to find out what you like. But it's weird because, like you said, in college, it's almost like you do things, and I don't want to say you get a reputation, but, like, people know who you are, they know what you're about, like, whatever, like, or they know different things about you, so it's easier to kind of meet somebody or talk to somebody, like, all right, I can mess with this girl, or if a girl's going around, I can mess with this dude. The same situation. But when you go out, like, off in the real world, out of that little bubble, that little community that what college is, like, it's almost like you're starting over every single time. with a different person, because it said everybody's different. Everybody, they don't know you from him, her. Like, so when you're going in there, it's almost like with the relationship, it's almost like an interview. If I want to like this, because you're gonna.
Yo, TK, quick question.
Okay, I got
you
one.
and Clay were like you're trying everything out. When you say try everything out, what do you mean by everything?
Like dating.
Like heterosexual everything?
Well, no, I don't know about that one.
Is it like
you're pushing that?
what kind of experimentation?
You're looking to what you like and like what you think in a person, what you think personally you like, and like what you're looking for in a future spouse or a mate, with what you want in the future. So after this ends, like, what do you want? Like, you kind of get an idea of like, this is my likes and this is my dislikes. I want this person to be like this. I want them to have these qualities. But like, and mine was kind of different. But
yeah, I was about to ask how.
Because
We'll put you guys to ask how do you find out? When did you find out that your wife was the one for you? When did you kind of realize that?
It was different because, I mean, we started dating like towards the end of senior year, like basically right before we graduated, we started dating. And then like, it's weird because I've known her since we were real little kids. Like, we didn't always like hang out. We'd always do things like that because like her cousin lived next door to me. So I've known her for a long time, but we're never always on that level personally. So like, and we were always like, we were friends, but like, it was just, I don't know, like you just kind of take that step to where like, all right, I want to try this. I want to give and see where this can go. Like, because I want to say probably like end of the first semester freshman year, we had broken up for like 3 months, and like just because like I think out of the immaturity deal, like, and I kind of say like I don't know, it's like I'm going through college, and like the different things are going on. Like, I was trying to, I don't know if I want to say I was trying to protect her, but like I was really immature, like starting out college, really immature. I didn't take things seriously, like, and I didn't really know if like I was ready to be in a relationship. I didn't really know, like, obviously, like, all right, I like this girl. This is my girlfriend, or this is my whatever. I didn't know how to really take that serious, and I definitely didn't. Like, and then I ended up, I'm making goofy decisions that was reflecting bad on me, and then ended like reflecting bad on the whole relationship. Like, so I had to kind of take that into account. And but like once we got back together, like we kind of got back together on like, I don't want to like say sad circumstances, but like I was always there for her, like she's always there for me. Like she texted me in the middle of the night, and her brother had died. Like she said that, so I was up all night. Like we kind of started getting back together that way. Because I wanted to be there for her, and then we just kind of, once we really opened up and touched really on that deep, intimate level, like I felt like I was really making a connection. Like it didn't feel like I had to be reserved or I had to put up a wall. Like I could just say anything I wanted to her, and I know she could say anything she wanted to me. That's when I kind of knew, like, all right, this is the one I need to hold on to, or like, this is the one I'm gonna try my hardest to hold on to her and like and make this connection, make this work, and after a while, it just kind of builds, like you end up being your best friend and stuff like that. So like, you know each other, you know them just as well they know you. So at that point, we're doing this. Like we moved in together. Like that was the thing. That was the big step, I think, was where I found out like, what this is going to work or not, because you can't live with everybody, even with your friends. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Once you found out like we meshed, that was that way we could be in each other's space intimately, not just saying like that's like I was at school and she was at home, we just hang out and then we go our separate ways. once I felt that we were real deep into that part, I knew I was like, no, this is the one. Let me straighten up. That's also the part when I texted you guys, like going into after first year of marriage, I was like, I'm not drinking, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm gonna focus on the school. I'm diving deep into this track stuff. So I want to focus on that. So when I get out, I can be my best self for her. And then, because I know she's going to be grinding and do what she needed to do. So I want to make sure I was up to the level that she expected me to be, and that I had the expectations I set for myself. So it was, like I said, we got married before we graduated from college. So it was a little different. Rather than me like walk around like most years in college, I was basically in a relationship all in college. So it's a little different from my standpoint, but like I still had to figure out who I was and what I wanted. So I don't know how you guys feel on that part. Like I don't know if that helps y'all what y'all look for, different things like that. But that's just kind of where I was at with it.
That makes perfect sense. And kind of like what Clay was saying, that the average of your 5 friends, or Musa was saying, whoever was saying that determines who you are. I feel like the partner you have also plays a huge role in who you are. I think I would have dropped out of college if I wasn't dating the girlfriend I had, because I hated school with a passion. I hated school. Like I didn't even know to this day how I graduated, because I didn't go to most of my classes at all. I just did well on tests for the most part. So, that helped me out. But I hated school. But she'd be like, "Hey, Sugar, did you do your homework? Hey, Sugar, did you do this? Hey, Sugar, did you do that? Are you on the ball? Did you do this?" And most of the time I still wasn't doing as much as I should have. But because she was that my backbone, motivating me, it was a lot easier to get things done. Like maybe you should push me to do more stuff for track. I'd be a national champion like TK there. But I'm grateful for the fact that I had that experience. But unlike TK, like my girlfriend, I didn't work out. And I think that's because we both still had a lot of growing up to do. I would think I was very immature back then. I think it's very hard for anyone to have a successful relationship in college, long lasting after college, because you just don't know who you don't know who you are 100% yet, and you still have a lot of growing up to do. So I think college relationships are good if the person is pushing you to be a better person, but you shouldn't expect to last past college, to be honest, because past college a lot of things change, and that's when you figure out who you are and who you really want to be with, and what you accept. And also, as a man, I feel like it's easier to be in a healthier relationship when you're on your stuff. Like when you have a job, when you have a car, when you have your own place, when you're making good money, when you can save, when you can spoil your girl a bit, and when you can provide. And a lot of guys in college, or even a little bit post college, aren't really set up yet. So they're going out on dates with girls that don't really respect them.
Yeah, that's why I kind of said that earlier. Yeah. So the expectations change when you get out of college. But Millie, you got anything to add on that?
Kind of like relating to TK. I feel like it doesn't matter at what stage or what stage of life, for like high school, college, whatever. If you find your person, you find your person, and it is what it is. But at the same time, if you haven't found that person yet, you gotta try some shit out in college, like everyone else said. That's it.
No, I don't really believe in the one though, because you can connect with anybody if you put in enough time, put enough effort. As long as the panuni's are loose, you can connect with anybody.
I would say this, man. If I had to give advice for real on relationships, I would look for real. I know Millie laughing and shit, right? But at the end of the day, for real, if I had to really, really tell y'all some shit, bro, do not date your freshman year at all. Do not date your freshman year in college at all. Like zero dating, nigga. Like when I say keep it cordial with every single female that you meet, I would really do that if I had the chance, but I didn't have the growth for that. But the difference is not even the difference. My main reason I say that is when you go to college, most people think, okay, I know who I am. Oh, I'm a grown up. Like I do this, I do that. I'm not gonna lie, you don't. I thought the same shit when I went to college. I thought I knew myself. I thought I knew what it was. I thought I was the boss. I thought I dictated what life brought to me, but life will bring some unexpected shit that you do not know nothing about, and you trying to figure out what the fuck is going on at times. Like you will literally be sitting up in college, like what the fuck am I doing? Like what is life? You know what I mean? Like you would be literally sitting down trying to figure out what life is. So like at the end of the day, like dead ass. So like at the end of the day, when you go to college and you're trying to find a relationship, this is the biggest thing you need to understand. To be in a stable relationship and a great relationship where you say you like, where you think you found quote unquote the one, you can't expect that because at the end of the day, you don't even know who you are. And you need to know who you are before you find who you think you are supposed to be for the rest of your life. Who you think that person is your soulmate, they not gonna be a soulmate to somebody who doesn't know who they are. To find your soulmate, in my personal opinion, you have to know what you want and you have to like be set on that. You can't like settle for like, okay, make her attitude's bad or something like that. But oh, I'm gonna chill on this, I'm gonna chill on that, you know what I mean? Because maybe she can grow out of that. Yeah, she can, but it comes a point where like you get one chance, you get two chances, you got to cut it after that. And I feel like in college, most of the times you settle for things and you're like, okay, this is everything, you know what I mean? Everything's not going great, but it's going to come in due time. You gotta put a time limit on that due time though, because a lot of time people like, they say in due time, but in due time, they don't even know what that is. To me, nowadays, if I was to go back to college, I'm giving, like, I'm talking to every girl, right? Chilling as a friend. If I find somebody I want to talk to, right, and I think they might be the one, we can go serious with it. But I'm not gonna say you get a time limit, but you will get a time limit on specific things. Like, okay, your attitude's bad, right? We do this. The first time we argue, you flip out on me. I'm gonna let that go because that's the first time, but we're gonna talk about it. After we talk about it, I'm gonna expect the next time to go better, at least better than the first time. If I don't see improvement, maybe say first time, second times, I might be through with that. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing with me in college, I was just letting a whole bunch of that go. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I feel like in a sense, you just have to know who you are. You have to know what you want. And to do that, you just got to find yourself. And it takes time to find yourself. Everybody thinks, okay, I'm going to instantly, or I already know who I am, but it's not like that. You know what I mean? Go in there with high expectations, but don't expect all those expectations to be met, and don't expect all those expectations, you know what I mean, to be like, to go perfectly. Like nothing's gonna go perfect in college.
Yeah, that's like the best relationship advice I've ever heard, to be honest. That's really good advice.
That was good. I feel you though, real spill. I feel like honestly, you shouldn't be dating in college, seriously. Unless you know yourself, but that comes at a maturity level. You could be mature at any age. But I feel like a lot of us, you don't really like know yourself fully in college. You're still figuring out yourself. Like you're still going through hard times in your life where it like teaches you lessons that you need. So you're right with that.
Yeah, and I feel like what you were saying basically is like, don't be a simp. Is basically what you were saying. And and honestly, you can't. And the only way to not be a simp is to be confident in who you are, know who you are, and know what to go after, and have an ambition and having a goal. You know, because then you can say, hey, you know, I'm not going to put up with your crap because I'm already dealing with my own crap. You know, and I don't have like you're not looking to a girl as a way to be happy. You're looking to a girl as a way like to fit into your life, to make your life better. But you don't need her. But you guys are better together.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Two halves of two wholes come together.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll say you guys probably touched on it too. But if you're not ready to be in a relationship, don't force it. just because you want to be in one, like if you don't like being single and stuff, don't settle. So we kind of talked about that last week. Just don't settle for something if you're not ready for it, because that's just gonna cause problems. It's just gonna waste both of you guys' time. So
Yeah.
Hey, oh, go ahead, Sugar.
No, you go.
Yeah. Now, kind of build up on what Millie said, like when he said the maturity thing, like I think I said it like this week, like you said, you can be mature at any age. Like maturity definitely doesn't come with age. You don't just because you're 30 and I'm like 15 doesn't mean you're more mature than me. Just because you think you got to figure it out, that's not a big thing. And like Sugar said, the happiness thing, like don't like I forget where I've seen it, but they said. They were talking about a relationship. He said, her happiness is not my responsibility. She's supposed to be able to be happy by herself, and I'm supposed to be able to be happy by myself, and then we come together and we're happy together. Because if I'm constantly have to build you up, and you're constantly have to build me up, do different things like that, we're never gonna mesh, we're never gonna work out. So it's all about how not being confident in yourself and them being confident in themselves. And after that works, then you can shake and move and do what you want to do. And like with the relationship thing, like, and my big part was with the marriage. Like a lot of people ask, like, how do you know when you're ready to be in a relationship? How do you feel to be married? Like, you never know. You're never going to be fully 100% ready, because it's new stuff. So it's all about growth. Like, it's never going to be the same thing. It's always going to change. If you want stuff to continue, like, and get more serious, it's about growth. So it's going to go, you might start right here, like it's within like you're going good, but like if you want it to get better, you're going to have to grow. Like it's not always going to be good all the time. You're going to go through some different things, some struggles, but like that's all part of the growth. And if you get somebody that can grow with you, like, and got your back with it, and you got their back with it, like that's where we're going. That's where it's going to work. Like I always felt like she pushed me to grow, be by myself. She never pushed me like and forced me to be anything that she wanted to be. She just said, "Hey, you do what you need to do." She wanted me to be better for myself. And once I started doing that, I didn't feel like anyone could stop me. I felt like I was going to be the best I could be, and that just transitioned into my relationship rather than everything else. But that was a big part of my relationship, and this confidence in being what I wanted to be, and to be able to prove that to myself and take it into my relationship with my wife now. So,
and I feel like that's how you know when you found the one, is if the person is not necessarily making you a better person, but the fact that you're with them is put like you feel like they don't have to say anything, but you feel like because this person, you love this person so much, you want to be better for them. If that makes sense, you know?
yeah.
And they support you, because there's lots of like beautiful girls out there who are like empty, who are like will talk down on you, cheat on you, you know, just like boring, whatever the case may be, you know. But you need to be with someone who, you know, obviously you need to be attracted to them, but you need to feel like they have your back no matter what. If I lost my job today, like this person wouldn't leave me, you know. If I lost my arm, if I lost my leg, you know, you need a ride or die. And
I say ride or die, as the kids say.
And
I feel like right the dating market, it's harder to find that, because I feel like a lot of girls just looking for a free lunch or like a free date or whatever the case may be.
Hey, they ain't getting that from.
And I want to add a little something to that, man. What Shogo said, like some girls, he said some girls feel empty, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I vibe with that, because a lot of girls do feel empty to the point where like they think that they got to do this and that, you know what I mean? Or like they trying to play niggas, or they think all niggas, you know what I mean? All niggas not shit, and they got the mindset of that, and they not really, they're not themselves yet. They don't know who they are, you know what I mean? They're just looking at all this left and right, you know what I mean? Thinking that's how things are. But at the end of the day, when the biggest thing about growth is you can't really mind that, because some people, like, you can't catch the next song, as people state, because everybody sins. And at the end of the day, some people sin not knowing. Like, it's bad to lead people on, knowing you're not going for a relationship, things like that, and you're not ready for one. But at the end of the day, not everybody is at that level where you might be or you're trying to get. So, you know what I mean? The biggest thing about that is you have to be mature for real. And I really want to like press on the maturity, because at the end of the day, like to me, like personally, everybody knows what maturity is. And the biggest, like the easiest way I would describe maturity is like using your own wisdom to pretty much guide you through, you know what I mean, through like situations. And the biggest thing about wisdom is wisdom comes with your own experiences and your own knowledge, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you got to use those to make good decisions, you know what I mean, when things come to you. So like at the end of the day, you got to use your own wisdom to be like, okay, this is not the person for me, because at the end of the day, they're still childish and I'm here, you know what I mean? I'm not going to wait 2 years for them to get on my level to the point where I'm mature, you know what I mean? And I'm doing this correct. I'm going to let them go, because at the end of the day, the fact that you're at a maturity level that they're not at doesn't mean, it means at that point in time, you guys are not meant to be together. It doesn't mean later on, you know what I mean? You might not, you know what I mean?
100%.
If time comes, you guys might get together, but at the end of the day, you have to grow. And you know what I mean? You have to make the best decisions for you. And pretty much you just have to trust your growth and trust who you are, in a sense of, okay, I'm here, I know what I want. Or, you know what I mean? If you're growing to that, you just have to trust that you're going to get to that eventually. And you just got to make the best decision with that.
I'm going to say one last thing real quick, because then it's time to wrap up. Also, as men, like the older I'm getting, the more I realize this. As men, it's so much easier for us. Like the older we get, like the more value. I don't want to sound like Kevin Samuels, but like
No, it's not
Damn, baby.
The older we get, the more valuable we are, because we have more money. You know, we have more money, we have more experience, we have more skills. You know, we're just more manly. You know, we just have more of that masculinity the older we get, and we don't really age that badly. Whereas with like women, you know, no offense to women, I love women, women are beautiful. The older they get, like the less attractive they look, and the harder it is for them to find a man. Whereas like we could be 40, 45, 50, 65 and still be hitting 18-year-old girls, you know, especially if you're fit.
Hey, who's doing so good, man? Clay, one more comment.
Best believe I will be.
Nah, I feel you, so go.
Put the arm up, TK. I'm with you.
Yo, I think this kind of goes along with like generally what everyone said, but it's all about growth, you know? So like if you have a relationship younger in your life, you know, like high school, college, whatever, like that's cool. But just make sure that you guys are growing together, you know? And if you grow apart, that's fine, you know? Lesson learned, find the love light and the lessons and everything. And, you know, keep growing yourself. Maybe find somebody else after you leveled up, like Shogo was saying, you know, established yourself. But yeah, there's really like two paths, but they both involve growth. Either you're growing with someone or you're growing by yourself and meeting someone somewhere else.
I like that. All right.
GG's in the chat. GG's in the chat, guys.
All right. That's good. So, man, I like everybody's opinions. Everybody has different perspectives on a lot of things. We'll go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Probably every Wednesday we'll be posting. So you'll probably hear this next week sometime. So thank you guys for listening. See you guys next time.
Deuces.